Discover the Arts is brought to you by Nevada Dairymen and Dairy Council of Nevada and Estelle J. Kelsey Foundation.
Hi kids, my name is Tyler. I am an artist and I'm also a professor at the university here, and I teach digital art, so that is art using computers. But what's most interesting to me and what I like to have fun with as an artist is using technology to get closer to the real world. And that's what I'm going to be helping you with today. Now, I want to talk to you specifically about something kind of fancy and fun and new called augmented reality. Now, augmented is kind of a big fancy word, and it basically means to help or to add to. So what augmented reality does is it allows you and me to add things to the world around us using technology. And one of my favorite things about the way technology is developing today is that cameras and computers and phones are getting smarter and smarter and smarter and faster and faster and faster. So a lot of phones like this one I have right here, smartphones, maybe it's an iPhone or an Android phone, they can use their phone camera to give us augmented reality. So I'm going to help you with that today. So if you or a family member, maybe a parent or a guardian or a sibling, has a smartphone, go on and bring them into the room with you, or have them maybe pull that up, and I'll talk you through how to get some augmented reality going in the room right where you're sitting. So one of the easiest and most helpful things that augmented reality is sometimes used for is to give information about the world around us. So if you've ever seen a sign or maybe a menu in a restaurant or just a piece of writing that's in a language that you don't know, you can't read it, well, augmented reality, or AR, which is a shorter way to say it, will translate that for you in real time so you can read it in a language that you know. And I use that sometimes. Another thing augmented reality, or AR, can be used for is to help you find directions for where you're going. And that's useful, and a lot of people use it, but I like to have a little bit more fun and be a little bit sillier sometimes. And one of my favorite ways to find directions is to use an AR application called Hotstepper. And it is a fun little guy you can use on your phone, and he'll tell you where to go. Now, when you use augmented reality, or AR, you will want to hold up your phone like this, and you'll want to start by turning your phone towards the floor. And it'll ask you to allow your camera to turn on to see the floor around you, because it will look for a nice big flat spot that it will put some AR content. So you'll start with your phone like this, which you might not be used to holding it, and then move it slowly left to right. And this will help your phone get a sense of where it is in the world. Kind of, where's the ground? And once it's found the ground, you will be able to tap with your finger on the screen, like so, and up pops, in this case, a fun little dude called the Hotstepper. And this is a little map where you can tap where you want to go, and you have a little dancing guy showing you where to walk. There he is. Oh, there he goes. And now he's dancing on the windowsill. So that may be the direction that I should walk in. And that gives a little bit more flavor and fun to something that's as normal and ordinary as looking at a map. Now what I've done for this experience is I have a few artists that I want to tell you about that use AR, and I've made a few AR creations especially for you to try out. And to use them, if you do have your phone ready, I have some little pictures I've put on the screen, and those are called QR codes. So we have AR and also now QR. But if you take your phone camera and try to take a picture of one of these little squares, they're a little bit like a barcode that you might find in a grocery store, and that will take you right to the application to download. If you have an iPhone, you can probably just take a photo of it with your camera. Some phones you may need to download a QR code scanner if your phone doesn't automatically know it's a QR code. So when that icon, when that picture shows up on the screen, go ahead and point your phone at it and either take a photo or open up a QR code scanner. And then you can get right to the application that I'm talking about and showing. So the first artist that I wanted to talk about, he's a Dutch and Icelandic artist. His name is Olafur Eliasson, and he's really interested in the natural world. And he makes a lot of sculptures, actually, and he works with materials and things like ice and water and rocks and sunlight, things that we're so used to we don't even think about anymore. So when he worked with a company called Acute Art, he decided he would make a special AR artwork, taking his interest in the natural world around us that we see every day and allowing us to maybe see it a little bit differently. And I thought that would be a great example for something we could do together, because you might be staying at home more than usual or not seeing your friends as much. So this is just stuff that you might ordinarily ignore, not even think about. Some of the objects that he works with in this AR app would be a rock or a cloud or a rainbow. He called this project a big fancy German word called Wunderkammer, which is a bit silly and fun to say. But what it means is a cabinet of curiosities. So if you think about a bunch of small objects that are pretty curious and interesting to think about, that's kind of how he wants us to think about this AR artwork. So with the Acute Art QR code that you can scan that should be on the screen, you can download this application, click on Olafur Eliasson, and there's specifically one I want you to try first, and it's called Solar Friend, and it's a little sun. What you'll want to do again, hold your phone flat on the ground, turn it left to right, and then you should see a little icon pop up on the screen. Tap with your finger and a sun will appear. And you can put that wherever you want to. You can go all through your house, find somewhere that you might want to put a little sun, maybe somewhere that a darker area of your house that doesn't get sunlight. Maybe you want to put it on top of a light bulb or a lamp. So take a few minutes. You can pause the video and come back. Find somewhere that you think could use a little light, and take a moment to put the sun there. You'll see it rotating a little bit, and then come on back. And before you go, I want to let everyone know that you can take a screenshot of what you do if you like something, and you can email that to outreach@arttown.org, and that might show up on the ArtTown Facebook page. So go ahead, try the Solar Friend sun, and come back in a minute. So how was that? Did you notice how the color of the room changed a little bit? It was a little bit more yellow, as if the sun was actually shining light in the room. The color of light can really change what a place looks like, whether it's real light or AR digital light. And I don't know if you had this question, but how hot do you think that sun is? 1,000 degrees, 1,000,000 degrees? Your guess is as good as mine. Now you'll notice there are a bunch of different little options for the Wunderkammer AR artwork. You can choose from a little puffin maybe. There's a rain cloud that I personally like that's called the Uncertain Cloud. With that cloud is pretty fun. You can, if you listen, hear the rain falling from it, and you can even walk through the cloud and the rain will get louder. It's also the only time you will probably be able to have it rain indoors. Now, if you look at the titles of those, Uncertain Cloud or Lucky Stone, why do you think that stone is lucky? And what do you think about the cloud makes it uncertain? If you were wondering that, then you were curious about it. And Olafur Eliasson got you to be curious about his cabinet of curiosities. So that was the whole plan that he had, was to get us curious and thinking about the world around us and use technology to see it in a new way. So you can pause this video again if you want to and try out as many of those as you like. Another artist that's in the Acute Art app is called Cause. He's an American artist and he works with cartoon characters. He has made work using SpongeBob SquarePants and Mickey Mouse. He's even collaborated with Sesame Street before. And he's made a couple different cartoon characters for this app that you can play with too. One of them is called Companion, and he's a little bit of a Mickey Mouse looking guy. And he is about tabletop size, so he'll fit almost anywhere. Kaz also made a two-dimensional, like a flat drawing that's way bigger, about as tall as I am, called just AR Drawing. What's especially, I think, fun about Kaz's pieces, his artworks, is that you can put multiple in the same place. So if you click on the Kaz, K-A-W-S, in the AR Acute Art app, try putting Companion and AR Drawing in the same room, and you'll see it's kind of interesting to have one be so small and one be so big. So think about where they could both kind of be interacting with each other, and maybe there's a story you can think about for maybe how they became different sizes. So look around you, and maybe on a chair or underneath a table, you can find an interesting place or a fun kind of hiding spot for both of them to be hanging out. Now there is one more artist that I want to tell you about. Her name is Nancy Baker Cahill, and she's also an American artist. And she works in a lot of different materials. She actually started making drawings on paper with charcoal or with some colored pencils. And she would make really big drawings, but wanted to sort of get more exciting with it. And she worked with some computer people to make an application called Fourth Wall. And there's a QR code you can scan with your phone to download this application as well. Because she wanted to make drawings that you could walk in the middle of or have floating overhead or place anywhere you want to. And she wanted to do this because she didn't want to have you go all the way to a museum to see a work of art, but maybe put it on the street out your window. So to bring art right to your door. So if you download this app, you can click on her AR drawings, and I want you to try out one called Hollow Point 101. This is one of my favorite AR artworks. It has a bunch of swirling shapes, kind of in a circle with this hollow central opening in it, in the middle. So open up that with your app, and remember, you'll need to have your phone facing the floor first, and then you can make it right side up so you can put it anywhere you want. But think about what you can see through the middle of that floating shape. And maybe you can kind of look at maybe a word or a thing, maybe your favorite toy or someone's face could be behind there. And think about what could, how that could change your, how what you're looking at would change with that floating drawing sitting in front of it. You may not think it looks like a drawing, but Nancy Baker Cahill actually made each individual 3D shape just like you would do a drawing on paper. She just worked with some computers, and she really likes to think about them as drawing because everyone can draw, right? You can just take a crayon or a colored pencil and make a mark, and then you're done. So think about that two-dimensional, just drawing on paper, but out in the world, floating. So give yourself a couple minutes to find, think of it like a telescope maybe, where you're searching for something that you want to focus on and highlight, and use Hollow Point 101 and come on back. Did you find something interesting? I hope you did. I always find that I'm seeing something in a new way with that application. Now, I'm a huge fan of all of those artists, and I've, an artist myself, made you a few special AR friends that you can play with. Now, I've been thinking a lot about what's happened in the past couple months, and I've been feeling cooped up, and maybe you have too. Maybe you've been spending more time at home than you usually do, or have to stay away from friends you normally hang out with or play with a lot. So I was thinking, why don't we use AR to give us some imaginary friends? So there's a QR code on the screen. You will want to have a parent or guardian or someone who's over 13 to use this, because I put these imaginary friends on an application called Snapchat, and that is for people 13 and over. But they can help you with it. And I first want to show you a friend that I've made for you called Ariel. Now, Ariel can be inside with you. You can go on a walk with her. If you tap on the screen with your finger, you can place her wherever you want. You can also slide your finger around or pinch with your thumb and forefinger up and down like this to make her bigger or smaller. So you can make her 8 feet tall or shorter than a ruler. And you'll probably notice that Ariel's a pretty good dancer. So why don't you hang out with Ariel for just a minute and think of somewhere that might be a kind of maybe funny dance floor for Ariel to dance on and show her moves. So go around your house, maybe out into your front yard even if you want to, and think of where Ariel could have some room to show her moves. The other friend that I've made for you is named Arthur. He's a bit bigger, so you might want to go outside. And you might end up, after pointing your phone at the floor, have to point it up at the sky to see Arthur's head. He's the quiet type. You might notice that he does not have a mouth, but he doesn't have much to say anyway. His favorite things are just swaying back and forth. So I'd like you to see maybe somewhere outdoors, even out your window if you're not going to go outside. See where you might want to put Arthur. And if you can, think about a place where something else is moving. Maybe a tree is swaying in the breeze, or there are some cars passing by, or a fan, anything that might be moving. Maybe you have a dog or a cat that's moving around. And if you can, try to think of how maybe Arthur and whatever's in the background might move at the same time. And that's a way that using augmented reality, you can embed or connect what's on your phone to the real world. So if there's anything that is moving or could move in your house, maybe you have a sibling that likes to dance or is pacing around, try to match the movement of Arthur with the world around it. All right, so you can go back to Arthur and Ariel whenever you want for a little company, a little fun. And remember to, if you find somewhere that you like them to be, feel free to screenshot them, email them to outreach@arttown.org if you want to share what you've done. And I have one more thing to show everybody using this Snapchat application, because not only can you just put things in the real world from AR, you can also change things that are already there. And I've made one other special surprise for everyone called a monster face. Now you can scan the code that's on the screen, and this one's kind of special. Instead of looking for the floor and then putting a character or a bird or a rainbow somewhere, it looks for a face. So the computer inside your phone will look for 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth. And then it will replace those body parts of your face with something a little stranger. So you can practice on me if you want to. You can point your phone at the screen, and it will look for not only where your face is, but it will be able to tell if your mouth is open, closed, or if your eyes are wide open, maybe squinting, or if you blink. So go ahead and point it at the screen if you want a little bit of a preview, and then you can turn it around to your own face. Maybe you have a brother or a sister or a parent you want to turn into a monster. And you'll notice that the face changes when they start talking or if they have any facial expression. So it can get a little bit silly. And when you're trying this, you'll see that there's some wiggly lines where the mouth is. Now, what do you think a monster like this would sound like? I think this is a great opportunity to have a monster singing contest with your family. So if you'd like to, I say go right ahead and come right back. All right, well, hopefully that was fun. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you enjoyed them. I have one other special bonus to show in case anyone has an iPhone or an iPad. I'll show you on screen what I'm doing in case you don't, but if you happen to have an iPhone or an iPad with you, you can follow along with me. Again, taking a photo of the QR code on the screen, and you can follow along. This application is called Adobe Aero, and rather than just one thing you can put in space, you can make whatever you want. You can put pieces together and have a whole living room party if you want to. So when the when Adobe Aero starts up, you want to press the little blue square in the bottom left of that screen, and it will say you, scan, look for a surface, and then it'll find one. You'll see some little white dots on your screen. So we will tap to say, you know what, this table is where we'll make our little world. And then you can press the little plus on the screen and go to Starter Assets. An asset is like your toy chest, your sort of box of goodies to play with. So we'll click on this, and you have a whole bunch of things you can put in here. You can put furniture, you can put a potted plant, all AR, and I have a special, a sneaking suspicion that we should maybe play with the animated ones. So towards the bottom, you'll see the word animated. And you'll see there's some pretty cool options here. There's a dinosaur, a robot. I like animals, so there's a fox hopping. I'm gonna tap on that fox. And where do I want this to be on the table? That sounds good. And you can use your thumb and your index finger to make him bigger or smaller. Here's my little fox. And he's sitting there. He's pretty cute. Maybe it's a she. Yeah. A little bit of a miniature fox. Now, it was called a fox hopping. It doesn't seem to be hopping. So we can do something about this. If you tap on that fox on the screen, then you can, there's a little outline of a person on the bottom of your screen. It says behaviors. Now the kind of behavior I want out of this fox is to hop. So I'm gonna tap on behaviors, and there's a little blue word called a trigger, and that's basically a light switch or a button that tap on and off. So we'll tap on trigger, and I will press, action sounds good, and I'm gonna animate him. So there's the word animate here. You can do many different options, and so that's gonna hop when I tap on the fox. I will hit the check mark to go, hit preview. So here we have a little, maybe 3-inch tall fox. If I tap on him, whoa! It's going everywhere. It's hopping around, doing its own thing. So if you happen to have an iPhone or an iPad and you can download the Adobe Aero app, feel free to fill as many animals, creatures, couches, shapes into this world as you want to. And you can animate them, have them do things when you press on the screen, have a whole kind of little party going on. So I will go ahead and stop that for now. So those are just a few different ways that you can use AR. It's always changing. Technology is always kind of getting better and better, faster and faster. But as an artist, you can always use the newest, latest thing that's happening, that's the newest thing with computers, and make a really fun creation. And anyone who has access to something like a smartphone can search out and fill the world around them with artistic and playful and even just silly fun things. So I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to explore all of the apps that I showed. There's a lot more you can do with them. And I hope you have fun this afternoon playing with those. Thanks.
Be sure to check out Discover Fruit Printmaking if you haven't already. And now, a message from our sponsors.
Discover the Arts is brought to you by Nevada Dairymen and Dairy Council of Nevada and Estelle J. Kelsey Foundation.
Hi, and welcome back. How many times have your parents told you don't play with your food? Well, today I'm going to give you permission to play with your food, because I'm going to teach you how to do some printmaking with simple fruits and vegetables, and we can be creating something like this. How awesome is that? So what we're going to need are some paints. We're going to need a water cup. Your parents are going to need a knife and maybe a cutting board, and then various fruits and vegetables that you have. The key is just to get fruits and vegetables that have flat surfaces. So I'm going to be using an orange today, I'm going to be using a lemon, and then also Soho. Sorry about that, guys. So push pause on the video, get these things together, and I'll show you how to do this. So first, your parents are going to need to cut your fruit or vegetables in half. And try to get the most even cut you can, because you want to have flat surfaces all around. So I'm just going to use an orange and lemon for this. Being very careful. Alrighty. Now we're going to need a large sheet of paper or any size piece of paper. It is up to you. Let's start with my lemon first. This looks like a good one. I'm going to dab off any of those remaining juices. Take a paintbrush and then pick out whatever color I wish. Let's see. I think purple will look really nice on this pink paper. So I'm just going to take a little bit of paint, not a lot, and cover the entire bottom, or the cut half of this lemon. Just like so. Next, you're just going to simply put it down on the paper and push down and lift straight up. And I've got myself a little lemon print. And you can either reapply your paint or keep going and maybe get some lighter purples on there. It is completely up to you. A little bit more. You can do more of an abstract piece, which means they can go anywhere on the paper, or you can make a pattern with your lemons. Again, this is up to you. It's art. There's no wrong answers. Please have fun with this. See, now I'm going to use my orange and maybe blue on this. The best part about this is this art project does not take that much time to complete, so you can make multiple pieces as quickly as you want. Orange on there, right in the middle. Ooh. It is that simple. You guys have fun with this. Thank you once again for watching these Discover the Arts workshops. I will see you next time.